Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is Pamela. I wanted to come to you all today. Make sure that you all are liking what you see. If you like what you see, y'all know what to do. Hit that like button. And here are my channels. Please make sure that you are following on my Pam Entertainment TV channel. I am covering the Dwayne Keefe D. Davis trial, which is the Tupac murder trial. Please go over there and follow that for me. And right now we're on PETV underscore reacts. And I want to go over season 1, episode 1 of Lanterns. Uh Now, I'm not the biggest DC person. I'm very the obligatory Batman, Superman, Robin, mostly the Super Friends. When I was coming up, I watched the Super Friends. With Batman, Aquaman, the Legion of Doom, and all them. But I've never just been character driven, uh, except for if it was like Superman or Batman. You understand what I'm saying? It's just never, the Green Lanterns, never really looked at them or anything like that. So I will tell you, just coming from the perspective that I'm coming from, to be honest, I saw that Aaron Pierre, that's Mufasa, was playing in this. So I wanted to see what was going on. And I also saw the young man that played in P Valley was playing the father of Aaron Pierre, that's Mufasa. So honestly, I came into the situation definitely wanting to. I came into it definitely wanting to see them. Ain't no need of me lying. So I'm going to review it, but I have some questions and I need y'all's help because I watched it. I actually watched it twice because y'all, I don't know what's going on. So I know when it came on, we were introduced to Hal Jordan via a 60-minute television show where the Stewart kids were watching TV. Now, as they're watching TV, you have one that is just completely watching the television, but you have the other two that are acting like scouts, and it's like their father came home. And instead of the young man cutting the TV off, because I don't know if it's they can't watch the television, or is it that they can't watch the television with Green Lantern on it? Because the conversations that were being had in that house were unsettling at the least. And when I watched it the first time, this was my first. I'm gonna give you my first impression, and then when I watched it the second time, I was like, is this boy getting in trouble for watching TV at that time of night? Or is this boy getting in trouble because he was watching the Green Lantern? I couldn't figure that out. And then I was most appalled that the punishment was to pew pew an apple off that baby's head. Now, the auntie and me cringed. I didn't understand what was going on. And then it seems like, was this a real encounter? Or was this made up in that baby's head? Because, and I asked that question because it seems like all of these encounters were made up in somebody's head. That's what initially made me think, because it was like, I don't know why the acting was that way. Everyone was, there seemed to be this level of so this is when they were children. Let me just go back. So that happened. And the dad was asking kind of some questions like, what's his name? Such. So maybe the father told them that they couldn't watch the show and they decided to watch the show anyway. I don't know. That's what's confusing to me. Because I'm like, my questions, because you see, I just had some questions and I stopped. Like, why is the father like that? Why right off the bat there is this need to have this father be this way? I mean, there's no conversation. It just feels like I hate these shows that make that There's no setup to something. You just get dropped in and you don't know what's going on. You just kind of dropped in. For someone who is not as familiar with the Green Lantern franchise, I just felt like I've just been dropped into something that I don't understand. I feel like I just was able to get inside the club, but now I don't even know the music. I was, I just feel dropped in somewhere. Uh Then we fast forward to when John Stewart is an adult, and apparently he is apprenticing with Hal Jordan. How did they hook up? When did they hook up? How do they know each other? What made Hal Jordan think that he should be his apprentice? Right? That was my question. And that's what was making me believe like the stuff that was happening with the father, that was kind of it just felt like it was made up or something like that. I don't know. I just like I said, I feel like I'm dropped into a world that I don't understand. I just feel like I'm dropped into a world that I don't understand. It's like I'm dropped into this world of Green Lantern and I don't understand anything. I don't understand the it's like what's my motivation? I don't understand what's going on. Maybe things will be clearer at the second episode. Now, I will tell you I'm intrigued. Again, this young man and Aaron Pierre, that's Mufasa, are playing in it. So I'm intrigued for that level. I am curious, is the relationship between John Stewart and Hal, is that in John Stewart's head? Because the little thing, well, let me ask this question. Because what I know about the Green Lantern is the ring chooses you. And the ring usually comes to you when the former person that had the ring passes away. Right? So why is Hal Jordan training John Stewart? Wouldn't the ring come to John Stewart? I'm all the way confused. I'm really, truly, truly confused. I'm confused because I thought the ring chose you. You didn't choose the ring because there was a certain level of criteria that you were supposed to have. You were supposed to be honorable. You were supposed to be brave. You were supposed to, want to fight for justice wherever it comes and be prepared to handle that type of power. But that's not what it seems here. It gives me that Hal Jordan is kind of cruel. You're testing someone and you let them roll off a cliff. I don't know. This it's giving me they want to be edgy, but it's a superhero movie. Just let the people be superheroes. It's nice to see character development with the superhero, but this is just confusing to me. It is confusing to me. So I apologize. This is not the review. I'm asking questions because I do not know. I do not know. So as they become adults, it appears that Hal Jordan is training John Stewart, and he gives him this initial test of not showing up on time. Then he gives them this other test about, I guess, to see his reflexes and stuff. So Hal jumps out the car. The car speeds off over the cliff. John Stewart gets the ring. He puts on the ring and it glows for him. But what would have happened if the ring didn't glow? Hal was just going to let this man be killed over the cliff. But anyway, Aaron Pierre, that's Mufasa, he makes it out. He makes it out. He's able to passed that. To me, it was a secondary test. He was able to pass that test. So then, as he gets out the car, Hal comes back, but then we find out that that's a hologram of Hal's consciousness. And he tells there's a code word that this consciousness tells John Stewart. And then he runs into, because he has to walk 3 miles, he runs into the real Hal, and he tells them what the consciousness of Hal says, and then Hal just flies off to this place in Nevada. We get to this place in Nevada, and we see that it is a crime scene. Apparently, somebody from the rival team has pruned from the timeline several different people. And the police and the town all to me seem shady. But we end up finding out that there is a person of interest. And John Stewart, in his eagerness, spooks the guy, and the guy goes running. They end up capturing the guy, but still, he's a lantern in training, and he's trying to be the good guy so bad that he ends up messing things up because Hal and the police are already looking at this person as a suspect, but John doesn't realize that because John is not reading the cues. That's the issue. He just doesn't seem like he's reading the cues very well. Just being tall and good looking doesn't make a superhero. I will say that. And I can't read the way Aaron Pierre is playing this character. I can't read this character. I don't understand his motivations to do what he's doing. But let me go back to prior to him meeting up with Hal Jordan's consciousness. He's on the phone talking to his father, whose father is telling him, you want this, right? You want this. If this is something that you want, you need to do this. It's just a test. You need to, basically giving him this pep talk. Which then make me think back to the first part of the show. Because I'm talking all this and I'm looking at the notes that I wrote down. The way the father was acting initially with the pew-pewing the apple off this baby's head, and him encouraging him to do what he needed to do to get in. Was the father helping this baby recruit to the Green Lanterns? Because that's the impression I got because that's what I wrote, recruiting, that he wanted him to get into the Lanterns. Or is he thinking that that John Stewart is in the military like he was in the military? It didn't tell us these things. I'm not grasping what that is. I'm not grasping what it is. Which makes me look at John Stewart in two ways. The way I feel Aaron Pierre is playing him. Does he have some mental health issues? Particularly with the relationship with his father? Is that real? Is this relationship real? Where they mama at? Because I did see that the father had on a wedding ring. Where they mama at? So they captured the guy. The police are very ambivalent about Hal Jordan talking to the guy. So Hal Jordan pulls up this great ruse of turning the jukebox on and putting $20 into the jukebox. Well, $20 manifested by the Green Lantern. Puts $20 into the jukebox so that the jukebox will play the one song, so the people in the bar will get pissed off about that one song being played. They get into a bar fight, and Hal Jordan gets arrested, right? Meanwhile, John Stewart is sitting at the bar, and he's talking to this woman. He's sitting at the bar, he's talking to this woman, and this woman is just asking all kinds of questions. And again, Jon Stewart it's almost like he wants to be the Lantern so bad. He doesn't have good detective skills, if you want me to say it like that. Because you're sitting at the bar and this woman strikes up a conversation, and her conversation is so specific, and you don't find that suspicious. And then you go behind the bar and let her hump on you. You don't find all that suspicious. You don't find that suspicious. So Hal ends up getting arrested. He ends up getting arraigned at court. The judge was about to throw him in the hoose, that was not gonna grant him any bail or anything. This guy comes up as the lawyer. We find out the lawyer and the police chief or the police officer are married. The lawyer says, well, I'm doing this because my father wants to meet you. Then we go out there and it looks like there is this militia camp or what have you. It gives you a very eerie feeling, like they're preparing for something, prepping for something. We don't know what they're preparing and prepping for. So that gives me the side eye to the sheriff. And it also makes me believe that they know that there's something suspicious going on, but Hal Jordan's presence makes it known that there's something suspicious. And it appears that the militia guy runs the town. Now he's talking as if there's someone higher above him that's doing stuff, because he kept using the word that he was the caretaker. So it seems like somebody was higher above him. Again, everything just seems suspicious. This whole show is just suspicious to me. It gives me a suspicious feeling. So Hal ends up interviewing the guy. The guy happens to be the alien, because he sets off this his body. He said he had an explosives in his bones. He sets it off. It blows up the police department. So then we fast forward 10 years. So all of this that I'm talking about, so the previous thing probably happened in 2006. Then the training happened in 2016. And now we're in 2026. And toward the end of the movie, Aaron Pierre gets a call. Jon Stewart gets a call, and back to the same place in Nevada that they were called to in the first place. Right? He meets up with the sheriff. Here she is, suspect. And it's in the middle of winter, and we find Hal Jordan dead. He looks like he's been frozen to death. But also we find that his ring is missing. Now, that's interesting to me, because once the person dies, the ring goes to the next person that it believes is worthy, which should have been Jon Stewart, but that's just not how it worked out. And then that's the end of the show. I'm straight confusion. And like I said, me watching the second episode is on the power of Aaron Pierre. That's Mufasa. Because I'm confused, and I hope they clear up a lot of stuff, because this it's feeling like I don't know what's up with people making superhero movies. And I understand having character development. I understand for us wanting to understand and know the characters. But what I don't understand is when you drop us into a world that only the writer understands, and expect us as the viewer to understand what's going to confuse us. Because if this is going to be a murder mystery, then fine, let it be a murder mystery. We don't need to see if this is going to be a murder mystery, like who killed Hal, then we didn't need to see all that what happened with Jon Stewart as a baby. I don't understand why we needed to see that. I don't understand why we needed to why we need to be left with this impression that this man that his father would put a gun up to their head and blow an apple off of it. I don't understand why we're left with that if this is supposed to be who killed Hal Jordan. I think it would have, for me, it would have been better if we would have led with that. Who killed Hal Jordan? And then go backwards in time. I don't know. I don't know. This just seems I don't know. This just I don't know. But for me, if I'm to rate this, I'm going to rate this confused because I have no clue what's going on. If we're talking about 1 out of 5, I'm rating this episode a 1 because I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the motivations are. I don't know why we're doing what we're doing. And even when you look at the taglines, it says only one can wear the ring. Well, where the hell is the ring? Because Hal Jordan had the ring. Where the hell is the ring? Even when you look at the promo stuff, he looks confused. There's a level of suspicion of not being able to trust Hal. I don't know. That's a nice picture. I don't know what half of this stuff is. I don't know. I don't understand. But anyway, that's my level of confusion. I hate that my level of confusion had to be 25 minutes, but that's just the way it is. Y'all, please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video if you care. I am going to the second one. I'm gonna watch it the third time, and I guess I'll just do a recap, a step by step. But these are just my thoughts. I'm in a level of confusion that I cannot understand. All right, people. We do this every week. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video if you care. Y'all, please tell a friend, tell a kin, tell a coworker, tell that heifer that you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos. And as always, people,